Hello, my name is Brad Wagner, and I'm the Director of Product Strategy here at VisionCore. And one of my roles is to go and listen to a lot of customers of what the pains are that they're experiencing in their environment around virtualization in general, and to be able to look for what needs that they have that they express in their environments, and look for how we can address more of those in our products and be able to bring those solutions to them in ways that might not be present in our products today. And one of the things that I'd like to share with you today is something that we see as a pretty common trend, but again isn't something that people immediately are able to see coming before they do their virtualization, and that's why we want to share it a bit with you in the hopes that you might be able to avoid some of the pitfalls that other people have run into over time. And that is when people sit down and put together a business case for their virtualization project or this adoption of virtualization they're trying to drive into their organization, they typically put together a business case that has a return on investment captured in it based off of what they think they're going to be doing in their environments. So for example, they put together a lot of ESX hosts and they forecast about how many virtual machines they might put on each and what they're seeing there. And then they go and start their implementation after they get approval for that funding and be able to execute that project. And what we're typically finding as a surprise that they're giving back to me is while we're saving money by doing virtualization, we're not saving as much as we anticipated. And one of the areas where they're saying that they're not getting as much of return on their money as they thought that they would is that they're finding that they feel that their proper utilization of each ESX host is at the 50% mark. And what they're finding is, what we see very commonly across our customer base is that they are not leveraging those ESX hosts to a greater efficiency or more VMs per host to where they're using their CPU or their memory in particular at 60 or 70 or 80% utilization, that they're really stopping at that 50% utilization mark. So each ESX host is only being used to half of its capacity. And when we ask them, well, why is it that you're running into that? What do you think are the primary drivers that are keeping you at that 50% mark? Again, very consistent responses that we get there. And what they're telling us is that typically the way that they're finding problems in their environment where they're related to performance are when users call them up and tell them that they're having an application problem. The performance isn't where it should be, or they're having issues with their environment that they weren't understanding why it's going on. And so they reach out to these virtual admins and they begin troubleshooting, and they find that they have grown way past what an individual ESX box or a resource pool is able to handle. And so when they're running into that in their environment, they're saying, are there things that they can do to more proactively manage that environment to where they're not constantly fighting fires by having those users notice that problem first. And so they've asked for tools, and over the last couple of years we've really been delivering that need with our product named vFoglight by providing much more proactive monitoring in that space that is able to do things like capacity planning to be able to see when they're going to run out of space based off of their current growth rates, and being able to forecast when that might be so that they are able to start their provisioning process in time so where it doesn't sneak up on them. And then we also have things like modeling to where when you're moving workloads into this resource pool or into this virtual environment, you're able to see what that impact of adding 10 more machines like this one or one machine like this exact workload into this given ESX host or resource pool is going to do to that environment. And that's another feature that really plays well into that space. A third one is just in the alerting, the intelligent alerting that vFoglight brings to this environment. By being able to be more proactive in those alerts and being able to have those thresholds trigger either sooner if you need more time to address them, or be able to have more knowledgeable alerts presented that in addition to telling you your memory is running out of space, it might have predictions or best advice as to what you might do about that. Here are some suggestions. You might rebalance the workloads, or you might look at these machines that have this ballooning happening that you're not able to see easily in other ways of monitoring your environment, and being able to see those in a single interface that's able to point out those problems and provide you very quick drill down into finding that problem and resolving it, many times gives them that proactive response that allows them to notice and repair the problem before users are impacted by it and be able to respond to it. And that's something that's been very well received in the marketplace, is to have products that have that intelligence built in to be able to respond to these needs, and that allows them to drive that utilization in their environment up to a higher level, to where they're able to, instead of having it just at 50%, take it up to a 65, 75% mark in each of those ESX hosts, which returns more of that investment to them for what they're putting into their virtualization environment. Thank you.